Welcome back, Shalloners. Well, the holidays are upon us, and that means spending time with our family. That also might mean spending time with your boyfriend's family, and that's all well and good if you guys just love each other, just like one magical unit. But more often than not, there's going to be a little bit of tension between you and the in-laws. Hopefully not. But if this is the situation, then suddenly every single family dynamic turns into just this like dread scenario, right? And we're going to talk about how to fix it if his parents and you do not get along, and we're going to use Harry and Meghan as an example of what not to do. But first, just want to remind you guys, if you have a love question, find me on my website, shallonlester.com, and click Get Help. You can also take a super fun quiz to see what kind of vibe your social media is putting out, and shop my new merch collection. Also follow me on Instagram at ShallonXO, where I let you vote on the next video topic, and be sure to check out my podcast, Girl on Top, out every place podcasts are found. So Harry and Meghan, we've done videos on them before, and like when Harry first like started dating Meghan, I was like, yeah, like biracial, divorced, American, disrupting the monarchy. Like I loved it. I was so here for it. I thought she was going to be such a cool breath of fresh air. And then things started to go a little bit left. Long story short, she seems to have separated Harry from his family and put a huge rift between him and the rest of the royals. And some of you have said, like, you know, maybe his family's toxic and he needed to separate from them anyway. Yeah, that might be true. But that's something he has to do on his own for himself, independent of his girlfriend. Like, you can't use your girlfriend and your wife as your sort of like bodyguard, you know, as your mouthpiece. Like if a man isn't man enough to shut down his toxic family and to create his own boundaries, why should we as the women have to do it? What a fun, sexy job. Because look, who does everybody hate? Not Harry. They hate Meghan. Her popularity rating has like plummeted. And I still think she's like, I love all the charity stuff she does. I'm like obsessed with her mother. I just feel like her mother just like would know how to fix almost anything. If I like hit someone with my car, I'd go to like Mrs. Meghan. Her last name is Markle. Doria Ragland, is that her name? Yes, I would go to her. I just feel like she knows. But how Meghan has conducted herself in this relationship has been kind of a manual for what not to do in terms of engendering yourself to your in-laws. And here's the thing with the parents. Once y'all get off on the wrong foot, it is very, very tough to right that ship. But it's not impossible. So here's what Meghan did. She separated. And I've told you guys before, I used to be the editor of a celebrity magazine. I was the editor of Star. And people would always ask me when I worked there, like, okay, like what stories are real? And I'd be like, okay, every story is real except for the ones about the royal family. And this was prior to Meghan Markle coming on. I'm like, the palace is just a tight ship. Like people don't blab, you know? So our stuff is like, maybe from a source, But once Meghan came on the scene, leaky ship, people were singing like a bird. Why? Because they were Meghan's spies. She was purposely putting that out there. She hired several PR firms to make sure that places like the Daily Mail, Page Six, our magazines were writing about her on a consistent basis. So when Meghan stands there and is like, I'm the victim, everybody's writing about me. It's like, well, girl, you're paying someone to make sure it happens. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? But that furthered her aims of getting Harry on her side because every step towards Meghan was a step away from his family, right? So that's kind of the little bit of the backstory. And what can we learn from this, right? Because sometimes like we just can't control another person's opinion of us. And like same with Meghan, like I feel like she would vibe in like the Kardashian family, you know, but the English, they just are different. Like they have different rules and social structures, certainly in the royals. Like they don't even like hug each other. It's very non-American. We're like warm and loud and bossy and That's not really how they are over there. They're what we call dignified. I've heard this term before. So here's what we can do. Because for Meghan and Harry, it might be too late. Like, I think it's kind of set in stone. Like, she made Kate Middleton cry. No one makes Kate Middleton cry on my watch. No one. That woman is a treasure. And that sort of created this huge schism. I've heard she's also really rubbed the grandmother the wrong way. Like, the grandmother, the queen, as she's known. To me, she's just grandma. But to everyone else, she's like the queen mother. And so once you lose kind of the females, it's difficult. So here's what we can do, right? If you find yourself in this position. First of all, ask yourself, wait, how do I know that they hate me? If you know that your boyfriend's mom doesn't like you or the sister, ask yourself why you know that. Has your boyfriend told you that? Has he told you that the females in his life who are very important dislike the other important female in his life? Be curious why he felt like that was something to share, right? That is a data point. Now, maybe he was saying that because he wants things to get better. He's like, look, I feel like maybe you didn't make a good impression at Thanksgiving. Mom wasn't too happy about how that turned out. She didn't appreciate you vaping in the house and then throwing up all over Aunt Helen. But maybe he's saying that because there's something that can be rectified. But maybe not. And you have to decide. If he's coming to you with like a specific set of incidences, okay. If he's just coming to you with like, yeah, I don't know, like Mom and Catherine do not like you. I'm sorry. You need to ask yourself, is this a guy who kind of enjoys pitting women against each other? Has he compared you to his ex-girlfriend? Are you always hearing about some coworker that you're like, why are you talking about her all the goddamn time? That might speak to an ego issue. Or like an ego greed. Like he needs to be the little puppet master controlling everyone in his life, all the females, and sort of like watching and like cackling and rubbing his fat little hands together as they all compete and jockey to be in first place in his life. That's not good. That's not good. A smart man would never want you to know that his parents don't like you. My mother she hated someone I dated. Hated him. She was right. And he's like, did your mom hate me? I was like, no. Because I didn't want the tension. I didn't know how long my relationship was going to last. And I'm like, okay, do I want the two most important people in my life at each other's throats and aware of it? No. So one person can hate the other, but it doesn't need to be a two-way street. So ask yourself that. But let's say he's not a complete shitbird. Let's say that he has an actual thing, or let's say he hasn't said any of this. Let's say that this is just your impression. You're like, she doesn't like me. He's like, honey, of course she does. Like, I don't think so. This is an example. This is something I call positive gaslighting, right? And we know what gaslighting is. It's when someone tells you you're crazy for seeing what you see. But guys, sometimes when they're seeking to avoid conflict, and we do this, girls do it to each other too. We put a positive spin. Honey, she loves you. She loves you. She's maybe just jealous that you're so young and pretty. Really? Connor, tell me more. They're going to make it somehow turn a bad thing into a good thing. Oh, it's a good thing. I'm so positive. But in your heart of hearts, you might know. Maybe not even that deep. Maybe just what you see. It's like, well, she's passive aggressive. There's a lot of backhanded compliments. One of my friends, she had been dating her now husband. They are married. They'd been dating for like a year and a half, and they were at a family wedding. His family's a wedding, and she was talking to his mom. She's like, Sarah, I just love you so much. She's like, thank you, Linda. I love you too. She's like, and I just hope whoever you marry knows how lucky they are. That's what we call a passive-aggressive mother-in-law. It's like, I wouldn't even say that's passive. That's just straight up passive-aggressive. And she was like, okay, thank you, Linda. Okay. So if you have this kind of tense dynamic, you don't want that. It's awful. So this is what you do. It takes some big girl panties, okay? If there is something you did, apologize. And sit down with your boyfriend first. Be like, your mom doesn't like me. I don't need you to blow smoke. Listen, I do need you to tell me if there is something I did. Because I didn't do it on purpose, but I don't want it to be like this. So if he gives you something, he's like, it was the vaping and the barfing. You're like, okay, it was the vaping and the barfing. It was the vaping and the barfing. Okay. You sit her down and you're like, Rosie, I am horrified by my behavior. I am so sorry. You went out of your way to have this wonderful Thanksgiving. I puked all over Aunt Helen. I tried to give, a hickey to little cousin Ed. I'm so sorry. You find that splinter and you pull it out, right? Because this is what parents and moms hate. They hate bad manners. They hate bad manners. And a lot of people break manner sort of commandments without even knowing, and certainly not necessarily intentionally. It's like, I'm gonna go to this fucking dinner and I'm gonna put my elbows on everything. Boom. Like, we just don't think that way, but we do it. A lot of times we're nervous and we do something stupid. So go and sit and apologize. And apologies, they're like a present with the receipt attached. That means they can accept it or reject it. They might take it back and be like, I don't want this apology. Or they could be like, I'm gonna keep this. And you can't control the outcome. All you can do is come from a position of humility, right? And collaboration, because we're after peace and not victory here. And just speak from the heart and really make it genuine. Be like, I am so sorry I was vaping. I was just so nervous to meet you guys. Like, Connor talks all about how much he loves you, how like these family get-togethers, and I just kind of felt out of place, and that was something I do to calm myself down, and it was trashy. And seeing myself sort of from like an outside point of view, it really gave me a gut check. And it's like, I don't want to be this person. I want to be someone who's worthy of being around this family, and I want to do better for myself, so I don't vape anymore. Now that's an apology. That's because people never just want to hear I'm sorry. They want to hear I'm sorry and I have learned, and therefore this will not happen again, right? Same with something inadvertent. Maybe you don't know if you did something. So this is the script. You sit her down. You're like, Connie, okay. Let's start by maybe not calling them by their first name. Or if you do, always put a Miss Diane. I like that. That's a nice, good Southern thing. Where you're like, Mrs. Carver, I feel like maybe we got off on the wrong foot, and I'm probably going to assume it was my fault. I put my foot in my mouth a lot. So I just really want to know if there's something I did maybe that offended you or hurt your feelings, because that's the last thing I want. I adore your son, and I obviously, will probably adore you. I mean, you made this fantastic man. So I really want us to have that close kind of relationship. And I just want to clear the air, and I want to know if there's anything I can do to improve our relationship. See, it's not this like, oh, please, like, it's not this groveling. It's, if I did something, I want to apologize. And I am looking at this from a collaborative standpoint, but it's not like, I just need you to like me. Can you please like me? Because here's what mothers-in-law can be like: control freaks. Did you guys ever see that Amy Schumer bit, like that when she meets like a guy's parents, the mom always has this vibe of like, oh, I wanted to be the one to fuck him. Oh, no, you guys go to the movies. You guys go. I thought it was going to be me that fucked him. And I'm like, I laughed so hard I peed my pants. I was like, this is so accurate. It's like moms have that. It's like, I thought I was going to marry my son. No, you go. Moms and sons. It's weird. But it's like, you get it. It's like, that's their little baby. And the mom is like the light of this boy's life until they discover tits on somebody else. Do you know what I mean? So it's a very rough process. And it truly does not matter how old a guy is. Like, the mom is kind of going to feel like this, especially when it's serious, right? Like, if she knows, she's like, this is a fling, I'm not even going to get too invested. Oh, yeah, you're a dancer. Wow, that's great. Is that body glitter you're wearing? Purple. It rolls on. That's fantastic. Okay, Crystal. Like, they're not even going to invest enough to hate you, out of sight, out of mind. But if they don't like you, they might smell blood in the water. They're like, oh shit, my baby boy might really be in love with this person, and this chick could be permanent. So I got to exert my dominance here. I got to be the alpha female. I got to be the bad bitch in the head of this pack. But this is the thing. At some point in every man's life, they got to choose. They got to choose between mom and girlfriend. And we women don't necessarily have to make that choice, right? I mean, I guess we do like our dad and our husband. But like, we as women stay more connected to our family, like our parents. Like, you have a baby, you got to be around your own mama. You know, we're not meant to branch away in that same way. Boys are. It's always been said that like boys are easier to raise, but when they grow up, they're gone. And girls are a handful, but then they stay your baby like forever. So it is natural for a man to at some point be like, you know what, Mom? You're not going to treat Crystal like that. I like her body glitter. So what that it rolls on? That's eco-friendly. You know, and they're going to have to make that sort of situation. So that you got to enlist your man for help. Sit him down and be like, look, your mom doesn't like me. And I know you might not see it, but women, you know how girls are. We communicate almost on this like wavelength that men can't even sense. And please just trust me when I tell you that there's things she's doing that they're kind of meant to be insulting and meant to be intentional. I hope whoever you marry, it's like, babe, how would you like it if my dad said something like that to you? Flip it around. Sometimes people just need a little bit of perspective to be like, I would not like that, you know? And you enlist him for help because this is his issue, right? You can put up the boundaries that you want, but the boundaries he puts up are going to be so much more impactful. Because like, who the fuck are you, you know? I'm not coming to Thanksgiving. She's like, great. But if he's like, we are not coming to Thanksgiving, if you're constantly going to ask my girlfriend, you know, when she's losing weight, we're not going to be doing this, right? So either he has the obligation to get to the root of the issue. If she's like, nothing's wrong. No, she didn't do anything. She didn't do anything. It's like, oh God, yes, she did. Please just tell us. Like, he's got the obligation to suss that out. He knows his mom. He knows how to work her. He knows how to ask questions in the right way and really decode her emotions. Same with like a sister, whoever this might be. And if he can't, then he does need to run interference. So the first line of defense is always going to be your dude. And sometimes he might have to sit his mom down and be like, you can't act like this to her. She wants a relationship with you. But would you want to hang out with someone who says the things that you've said to her? And you know what the big gun is? I'm going to tell you the big gun. It's the big card to play. If you cut her out, you're cutting me out, and then you're going to cut your grandchildren out. The grandchild card, the ultimate ace in the hole, the grandkid card. And the mom's gonna be like, terrorist. And you're like, yes, I am. Don't negotiate with me. But like, this is where shit like that leads, you know? I come from a very small family. It was just me, my mom, and my grandmother and I, and Gigi passed away in June. But we are a very, very healthy family. We're very communicative. We're very fun and open, like small but mighty. Like, we got it right. And I always find myself dating guys from bigger families. I mean, most people have bigger families, you know, and it's always funny. Like, they prefer my family. They want to spend Christmas with my family, come home to California for Thanksgiving. And it's like, don't you want to be with your big, like, family? Isn't the big family the dream? He's like, no, I want to be with yours, you know? So like, it's very possible that guys break away. And I remember like I was dating someone and his family was fine. They just never particularly warmed to me. Everyone likes me. Maybe not on the internet, but like in real life, almost everybody likes me. But I was just like too city. I was a city mouse and they were country mice. And I was like, okay. But like, he always wanted to spend the holiday with my family. And I'm like, go be with your people. Like, they're going to think I'm taking you away from them. And he's like, no, they won't. Oh, fucking yes, they did. And I was like, believe me, I'm trying to shove them back to you. But like, you're going to be the bad guy, you know? But like I said, it's natural for a man to branch away from his own family, sometimes with his girlfriend's family, and most importantly, create his own, right? Create his own family. So let's say you try all these things. Let's say he has a sit down with mom or weird sister and it gets you nowhere, right? You tried, you took the high road, you fought the good fight, you said the good Shallon things, and you're just like, sometimes with people like that, approaching them in this like warm-hearted way, they just smell blood in the water. They don't see you as being mature and collaborative. They see you as being weak if you display emotion. And look, only you can know who you're dealing with. Most people are not like that, but if you get if you try to have one of these heart to hearts, gosh, my plurality is not good today, and she gets worse, data point. Now you see the writing on the wall, okay? And it was worth having that conversation to smoke out her true character. She doesn't want peace, she wants victory. She wants dominance over her son and certainly over you, a challenger to her throne, not today. So you can sit her down and you can have a different kind of conversation, right? You can say, Rosie, I want to be part of this family. I love you. I love your son. I love your siblings. Like I love everything. I love what you built here. But I am an adult, okay? And so are you. And I don't let any adult speak to me the way that you speak to me. Not even my own family. I don't appreciate it. All it's doing is tearing things apart. It's tearing people's connections apart. Okay? I don't want that. I'm here to build connections. I want to build a beautiful family. I want to build a wonderful holiday and wonderful memories. Don't you want that? Don't you want that, Rosie? And if she strong arms you and you're like, okay, but you need to know that you're not going to speak to me that way. I'm not going to tolerate that. And if that means I don't come to things, that means I don't come to things. And look, I'm letting John he can do whatever he wants. But if he isn't coming to things, maybe he doesn't want to watch his girlfriend get spoken to like that either. So where we go from here and how this relationship's developed or devolves is in your hands. I want us to go shopping, get our nails done. I want to do all of that, So if I have done something specific and you want to talk about that, I am more than happy to. If there's something that is, lying unaddressed between us. But if not, then this attitude and this dynamic is not working for me. And the key part there is I'm not going to come to things and John probably won't either. And you don't say for sure, not like, and I'll make sure he doesn't. It's going to put the rift farther. Be like, I'm going to let him make his own choices. But how are you going to feel, Rosie, if your son chooses to have Thanksgiving with me because you can't be nice to me? You know my theory on boundaries. Blood don't mean shit. You have a divine animal right to protect your peace and protect what is important to you. And if that's against his family, so be it. If that's against your own family, so be it. Just because someone is related to someone you love doesn't mean they get to ride roughshod over you for the rest of their lives. Because what you permit, you promote. I have a lot of married friends, and all of them who have issues with their mother-in-law had issues when they were still dating this dude back at the beginning. And I remember thinking, like, don't let her speak to you like that. I don't care who you are. Like, you don't act out of pocket around someone. And act however you want, but there's going to be consequences. Decisions have consequences, and I don't, no. No. And if that means me and the guy break up, bye. Like, I don't want to be a second-class citizen because he's a mama's boy who's still suckling. No. So you got to put these boundaries up front and unequivocally so that then, number one, like I said, you can smoke out what you're actually dealing with. Because if she truly is a mature woman, she's gonna like that you're tough, because that means you're gonna be tough on her son, and that means she doesn't have to keep raising him. She can have a life. She can go play pickleball. She can just shop at Talbot's to her heart's content because she's pawning off that mess onto someone else, right? Like me and my ex, I loved his mother, loved his sister, loved his dad, loved. I miss them more than I miss him. And I remember her saying, she's like, I love you because you're tough on him and he needs that. He needs that. I was like, oh, I'm tough. I'm keeping it together. I'm dialing it down. I'm a monster. She's like, let it out. I was like, okay, but she was a strong woman. She raised a strong man and she enjoyed a strong woman in her presence as well. So if nothing is helping, then you gotta make good on your bluff. Don't come to shit. Skip Thanksgiving. If that means you're at home watching the Macy's Day Parade by yourself, okay. If that means you're having Christmas alone, peace above everything. Peace above everything. Don't do something that's toxic, that's going to erode you to keep other people happy. People who might not be doing anything to keep you happy. If that's a two-way street, it's like, well, they're meeting us halfway and blah, blah, blah. If that's not it, that's not it. And it doesn't have to be it for you. So boundaries, interactions, and let him know that it is going to be on him historically going forward to fix this. You are not going to be the one to keep going back, back, back. He's got to play interference for the two women in his life. And maybe at some point, he's going to have to choose. I want to hear your mother-in-law tales. They are my favorite. Do you have one that can top? I hope whoever you marry makes you very happy. Oh my God. Incredible. Incredible. Like I said, find me on Instagram at shallonxo. And if you have a question, hit me up at shallonlester.com. Take some quizzes and shop some merch. And be sure to check out my podcast, Girl on Top, out every Wednesday.